It's episode 272 of GI Joburg. My name is Steve, and this is...
It's Rob, but what?
He's right here.
Oh my God, you're not in career anymore? Wait, where were you?
Career. Of a career, in career, being insincere. Rest in peace, that Depeche Mode guy. Not Dave, not the other guy. The other guy. Anyways, we are live. GI Joburg is in the house, most specifically my parents' house. I am in Africa. We are wrestling with internet and power cuts and crocodiles and gazelle.
Weird cockroaches.
Yeah, weird.
That I've never seen before.
Somehow the pandemic has mutated the cockroach population.
But I like them though, actually. These are kind of nice ones. They taste real good too.
But I'm not alone. Joining us from Johannesburg, we have Paul. He has a T-Rex. Amazing. Unmute yourself,
everybody. Hey, I did unmute myself. I didn't say anything.
Weird.
I just put the T-Rex up. I was all like...
Maybe I muted you.
So we're quite...
Yeah, you do that.
Stephen is now closer to you than he's been in over 3 years. How do you feel about that?
Can you smell me, pal?
I can smell you. I see you rocking an old school GI Joburg shirt, which is awesome. Whoa. And it's good to see you gentlemen together. So
Yo Joburg, baby. And big shout outs to the chats, the usual suspects. I see Gaz, I see Matt, I see Emmanuel. Hello, savages. Bob Squad's in the house. I'm sure I'm missing some people. Darren, the stalwarts. Great to see you guys. Awesome. We are live for the public, so if you have any questions you want to shoot our way, please do. But this episode is all about a Playmotion feature that we premiered. Okay, that too, evidently. But we featured a Playmotion this week, premiering on Friday. Well, our time Friday. Might have been Thursday if you were in the States. But this was presented to us by friends of GI Joburg, a pair of Dutchmen, Snowcat Ron and Mark van Leeuwen. They are here tonight, ready to answer all our questions about Coiling the Commander. Here's Mark.
Hey.
Hello, Mark.
Hello.
What's up, buddy? And Ron. Hello, Ron.
Great.
Long time, buddy.
Yeah.
First up, thank you, gentlemen.
Guys.
Keeping the Playmotion wheels turning at GI Joburg HQ while I'm out of this planet. Yeah.
Jet lagged, unable to do anything, just sleeping.
Paul goes mute again.
Indeed.
Yeah,
well,
he's
he's
going to make a noise. So
spinning many plates, I'm sure. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoyed it in weeks leading up to this because you gave it over to us for a little final creative stamp of some music and some extra voices. But I guess the start of this conversation has to be a bit of world building. Like the setting of this is so unique and something that I absolutely never would have conceived of for my own purposes. This is basically telling the story of a Cobra civil war between the supporters or the former supporters of Cobra and then the Serpentor side of things, and then this mysterious new figure that emerges. Mark, I assume this is your headcanon through and through.
Yeah. What I wanted to do with this particular video was show you a bit of how I would organize my own playtime when I was 11 or 12 years old. That's where it started. It evolved. Of course, my universe evolved over time. I've never stopped playing. So right now we're at the point where Cobra Commander is actually the Emperor from Star Wars. Albeit I never knew he was named Palpatine. So in my universe, he was called Emperor Ironblood after the Baron Ironblood from the Action Force line.
Very
and he controls the universe. So
he controls the universe.
Yes,
incredible. Your GI Joe play was intergalactic.
Yeah. So it gave me the chance to incorporate all other kinds of toy lines, like Star Wars, like He-Man. So yeah, it gradually evolved, but yeah, that's what it is actually. Cobra ruling the universe.
And a colorful bevy of characters. You've
I
got
love that Python now.
Yes, you've got Cobra Law incorporated
Yeah.
into this
Well,
world, and they are. What's their story? Are you picking up where GI Joe the movie left off?
No, actually, I never knew the movie until I was an adult. So Cobra La to me is quite new. I saw the movie first. I think I was 25, 26.
Wow.
So for me, my GI Joe universe evolved from only season 1 from the Sunbow episodes. I never saw season 2. I do know season 2 now, but as a child, and the file cards and Star Wars movies and He-Man, and from there it progressed. So Cobra La is relatively new to me, and I'm really fan of Motu, so I wanted this classic Snake Mountain set because it's such a good Cobra base. But then when I finally get it, I thought to myself, this is perfect for Cobra La. So I don't own any Cobra La figures. These are all runs. These are his costumes. But it's so perfect.
Galobulus's snake tail. I'm going to venture a guess, Ron. That comes from Vitruvian hacks, correct?
Exactly. That's a beautiful hack in that sense. Yeah, and very easy to do.
Does it stand adequately?
Yes.
Is it weighted enough?
Does.
Yes, it does.
Perfect.
Yeah, you can actually play very well with it. But to come back at the point, why do I have where does Cobra La fit in all this? So Cobra La is not on Earth. It's on a place called Eternia, and they are in my universe the actual first inhabitants of Snake Mountains. So the Snake people and King Hiss are descendants from the Cobra La society or civilization.
That's very cool, Mark. I like how
You are totally speaking Paul's language. A G.I. Joe He-Man crossover is
so G.I. Joe is in the same universe, although in He-Man's past, but
yes. That's interesting because one would, like, just in terms of the stylings of Masters of the Universe versus A Real American Hero, like, you'd expect He-Man to be in the distant past. But actually, it's the other way around.
Yes, it is.
Future of magic and science coming together is the future of this, like, very, I suppose, non-magical universe. Like, interesting.
There is magic.
There is.
There is, but not in this movie particularly. Well, Zartan is, come on, he's all magic. Clear.
Yes, absolutely. And Zartan does... I mean, if he was just a bit buffer on top, he absolutely would be a He-Man character in the vein of Manny Faces, except he's Man-y one face.
He would fit in perfectly.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was trying to explain, but I probably blustered through it. You've got this sort of very formal Cobra group with Baroness, with Major Blood, and the Blue Shirts and the Vipers, and typical Cobra weaponry and equipment. And then these Cobra La guys are allied with the Coil, who I assume are Serpentor's, like, inner circle. Like, this was his trusted... Followers. Right.
Yeah,
and they have not only all the freaks, but, like, all the interesting color palettes. So here we see, like, the Gold Vipers, the Sonic Fighter Vipers, the Python Patrol officers and troopers, and the headhunters from DEF.
Basically,
the headhunters.
Basically, every soldier and trooper that is not colored black, red, gray, or blue, I put him in the Coil.
I totally appreciate that because I think we are all pretty OCD at this point, and any way to better organize our Cobra forces is welcome, because you want all these colorful characters, but they don't look right next to, like, the classics, the Blue Shirts.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice. So script and story were at your hand, Mark, and also you did the final cut on this. Did Ron school you through the process of stitching together the footage? Because I seem to recall Ronald being the editor in previous productions.
Yes, he was. But no, I did this on my own. I really wanted to try it out and to figure out how it worked. And I enjoyed it. So yeah, it was quite easy actually.
Yeah, and
it took a lot of work.
We switched roles this time around.
Excellent.
So I was in the back seat this time, and that was wonderful.
But doing the cameraman duties and plenty of voice work. I mean, was it a sort of a 50-50 split on those two chores?
Yeah, well, I love the creative process, when recording the voices, but also creating the footage and solving the issues at hand and making story decisions while we're filming. So those are the parts of the process that I really enjoy. And when it comes to editing, even though I know it's necessary, but it's also kind of stressful. So I'm glad Mark did it this time.
This is the best of both worlds, basically. I mean, you got to film everything, Mark got to cut it up. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, Ron actually only filmed the outside stuff. We did that together.
Yeah.
But every Snake Mountain shot, and especially the Pepper's Ghost technique, that's all me. Yeah.
But there's also another reason why Mark is driving this one, because it's really his vision. So you must understand, this is also quite private what we're seeing, because this is the world Mark has created for himself since he was a child, with Cobra La being a new element. But basically the story and connecting this to Star Wars, this is his playground.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, very good of you to be respectful of that, because it's presented this wonderful new approach to us. Would you say that your personal canon, Ron, runs completely different to this? Are you a more traditionalist, like what was written?
I must say, as a kid, I also mixed and matched. I mean, I used the Ghostbusters headquarters for Eco Warriors. That was the ARPCO office, Yeah, but yeah.
But never Star Wars and Masters of the Universe. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Very good.
Oh, we just established the one is a galaxy a long time ago, and the other one's in the future. I mean, they couldn't realistically cross over. That makes no sense.
Time travel, Rob. You're thinking 3-dimensionally.
No, I gotta think 5-dimensionally.
Please don't get in that argument. It was I came up with it when I was 11. Come on.
Amazing.
You already solved the problem.
It evolves over time, but yeah, it has some flaws. Of course, it has.
So I saw a fair number of interesting techniques being used, and most of them, if not all of them, are in camera. You didn't do any post special effects.
No.
So Zartan kind of fading in and out.
Yeah.
I think at one point there's a
laser
muzzle.
pistol.
Yeah, there's a muzzle flash from Zartan's gun. Talk us through some of those techniques.
Because it is Playmotion, so I really wanted to have all the effects in view of the camera as it is, and nothing done in hindsight or with computers or anything. So that was really important to me. That Zartan, the way because as a kid I never owned Zartan. A friend of mine had him, and I really love that character. I still do. It's my favorite character. So when I made this, I wanted to let him see all the tricks he has, not as a toy, but what you can do with tricks. Well, he changed shapes, he gets invisible, and to me it was really important to do that in real time. So what you see is actually what's happening.
Hang on.
In camera.
How do you fade him down and fade up or fade him into a kind of a ghost state? Like he's kind of there but not there?
It's called Pepper's Ghost technique, and it's an old technique that is used for the theaters, but also in amusement parks. For example, if you go to Disneyland and you go to the haunted house, the haunted mansion, you'll see those ghosts floating. And that's done by putting a glass plate in front of the entire scenery, and then with lightning, you actually capture the reflection of. So when Zartan morphs into somebody else, he's actually standing behind the glass, the Saw Viper is standing in front of the glass, and you change the lighting, and that will show you the effect.
Yes, it makes sense. Yeah.
So it's
excellent.
actually what you see is actually what's happening. The only problem with it, because it's incredibly difficult to do on such a small scale. Normally you have a glass window and it works in human size, but if you use a glass sheet the same size as Snake Mountain, because you have to engulf the entire set, then the glass is too thick. So you will get a very murky double view. So I had to look for a very thin material, and the only thing I could find was Perplex or plexiglass. I don't know if Perplex an English word.
Perspex,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, so that was the only thing that was big enough and thin enough to use. But the problem with that material is that it draws dust like hell. So I have only like an opening window of 30 minutes before the entire sheet is covered in all kinds of lint and things. And if you wipe it off, even with a very soft cloth, it will stripe immediately because the material is so soft. So you can actually see the last scene where Zartan is morphing from the Saw Viper to himself. If you look carefully, you can see all the specks of dust around him, these white little dots, because that was the last scene I shot, and I had to turn it, the whole piece of glass, I had to turn it upside down because that was the part that was like the most clean. So yeah. But yeah, that is how I've done it. Yeah.
Now you're getting some praise in the comments for the Cobra MCC. I'm gonna hazard a guess, and that's probably Ron's custom, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it's mine.
Ah.
Okay. Cool.
It's the first. It's the first custom I ever made.
Wow.
And I started big. I thought I want to do a mobile command center in Cobra colors. Come on, let's do it.
I'm sure somewhere in our history, Mark, you've shown me pictures of that before. I guess I've taken to conflating the two of you because you both have immaculate collections, but you also aren't fearful of modifications. Like if there's something that, if an idea occurs to you that you can improve upon a vehicle, you'll go out and do it. Very gutsy.
Most definitely.
Yeah, exactly. No, my contribution to Mark's MCC is a Cobra Claw. So he was dying for one, and I had a few lying around, and he couldn't find them. So he could get one of mine, and it fits perfectly with his MCC.
Oh, it's a match made in heaven. I can hang it on the side of the MCC. It's wonderful. You can see at the picture right now all the white specks on the left, left side of the.
I was scrambling around for this picture. Yeah. I have a very labored laptop and an internet connection that's suffering from the power having just come back on. So I've now been warned that you can't just jump in and drive the internet down to the red line. Like you gotta wait a little bit for all the things to kind of stitch together. Yep. Take it from the pros. They've been working in these conditions for a while. Yeah, what does my mom know about?
Is real, dude.
Yeah, internet technologies. But okay, let's talk a little bit about our comic relief. Folks who know your work from Barging In will know all about the Sea Slug. Oh, we're jumping ahead of ourselves. The Sea Slug, the Toxo Viper, and the Sector Viper. And they make an appearance in this one. Whose edition was this? Whose idea? Whose brainchild is it?
Yeah,
well, actually, I think it started with a comment that Paul made that he would love to see them return.
Yes,
And
that is
Mark and I also had similar thoughts. We thought, well, if we make another video, then somehow we need to give them a role in it.
Yeah.
And it almost didn't happen, Mark, right?
Yes.
Because we did shoot this footage, but at some point we found the video. Well, the story was kind of dark, so at some point we thought, well, maybe it's not that fitting to put them in. But in the end, Mark, of course, being the editor, he said, well, yes, we're doing it. So
Nice.
Perfect.
I'm so glad you did, because
Yeah,
you got...
well, I wanted a bit of comic relief because it's quite a dark and looming video, but also I wanted to show that we have not forgotten about the three. The trio will get their own adventure, a big adventure, but this cameo, because that's what it is just to show you that, yeah, they're still there and they're still alive and kicking.
In spite of being once again the kind of the decoy, like shoot these
they're-
guys. They were on the bloody battle barge when we first met them, and now they're driving a GI Joe rolling operations
They're
command
so
center.
rubbish they can't even do anything Cobra uses. You messed that up. Take this terrible GI Joe vehicle and do something with it.
Well, I don't know if I should say this wrong, but I'm gonna blur. This trio will soon become a quartet.
Ooh.
Someone's expecting.
Well, let's say you guys won me over for a particular figure that I really hate, but he will join. He will join this group.
Yeah, we do have some
Harvest
ideas for these figures, some involvement. Yeah. So
if you listen back to the last time you had us on the podcast, you might find out who I'm referring to.
Okay,
But
guys,
he will come.
watch the episode. Let us know in the comments down below who it is, or who you think it is. Do it.
I'm just glad that
Custom stickers on the rock. I like that.
Glad.
exactly. Yeah, I mean,
Now
the
that's
Rock,
your addiction, right, Ron? Come on. Have I finally
course,
guessed
yeah.
just once correctly?
One thing, Ron.
No, when I bought the Rock and I looked at those stickers, my eyes were hurting, so that had to change.
Quite lovely. Yeah, some sort of diagnostic stuff to just fill out the blank wall that the characters wind up staring at. Like, yeah, absolutely. You've given it life where it had none. But once again, these guys are total screw-ups. Did they try and launch the stealth fighter from the rock and it just... Was it supposed to crash? Or was that some, like, sleight of hand trick photography? Like, it actually lifted off?
No, it's supposed to crash.
Yeah, it
Definitely.
was meant to crash, like it's some kind of crappy craft, you know. It's,
I take it you guys don't want to paint GI Joe in a flattering light at all in this one. Like, this is totally a Cobra-centric story. So the one featured GI Joe item is junk.
Yeah, and what's funny, Stephen, because your tone with GI Joe is usually a bit more serious, right? You use the like the military terms and everything, more like the comic, and we like to keep it light, just more in the style of the cartoon. Yeah, usually.
Yeah, man. So we've got a guess. And this gentleman, he's known for being particularly attentive. So I would take this quite seriously. He says, Generation 1 Toxo Zombie. Thank you, Brother Malachi.
I have to say he is correct.
Oh, wow.
But still go listen to that other episode. It's really good.
The fourth member of this group will become the Toxo Zombie. Yeah. Yeah,
That's
instead of the Toxo Viper becoming the Toxo Zombie, there is some interesting relationship between the two.
Brother Malachi here.
Well, all of a sudden, the B plot has become the A plot for me because I just want to see the Toxo Zombie.
It's the same. Like, it feels like what George Lucas does. I mean, he obviously based it on like Japanese cinema or other cinema, where you have these B characters that essentially have nothing to do with the main plot. but they kind of carry like a certain mood or a tone or like comic relief as you watch the film, like with C-3PO and R2-D2. Yes, they do carry the film as well, but still you see through their eyes, and developing them even more is fantastic. I like this trio. It's going to be fantastic to see them develop.
I foresee a kind of Shaun of the Dead type relationship where like he's a friend, but you can't get near him because he'll just bite you, and that'll be it.
Oh my God, our ideas already are so many. So yeah.
But to make it happen, I recently acquired a Toxo zombie, and I must say I'm in love with it. It's so beautifully sculpted. It's amazing.
It's quite sublime, and the sculpt, you've got this wacky color scheme, but yeah, absolutely, the sculpt is visceral and very gory. Like if you went in with a seriously detailed paint application, you could bring out so much. But I like the toyeticness of it. I like that it's a 90s figure that will look incredible under a black light, for instance. Just saying,
and
if you guys happen to have a UV light handy, like the Toxa zombie is mind-blowing. I took some pictures. I think I put them on Instagram. But yeah, very, very cool. But let's get back to the A plot, because you've set up so much in this Playmotion. We've got these two warring factions, but most interestingly of all, and this is spoiler territory for anyone who hasn't watched it to completion, but there's a big bad who's pulling the strings behind the scenes, and while he's upset that Cobra Commander is no longer around, shall we say, let's use euphemisms, he's not, like, this isn't the end of the struggle, this is just the beginning. He seems to have almost Cobra Commanders on tap. And there's some interesting Easter eggs at the end, which, I don't know, should we get into? Do you guys want to unpack the makeup of this world? Like, who is this emperor-looking dude, and what's his relationship to Cobra Command and the commander himself?
Well, like I said in the beginning, this is Emperor Ironblood, the true Cobra Commander. And to rule an entire universe, he came up with the idea, which I took from the Synthoids from the cartoon, and later the clones from Star Wars. He's making clones of himself a lot. And these clones are the rulers of the planets like Earth, like Eternia, so he's controlling them. But in that way, he can stay on top of all the things happening throughout that universe. So that's the idea behind it. He is not the same. He's not Emperor Palpatine. He's my own emperor. He has a different name, but he works the same. So it's like that. And the Cobra Commander that died in this particular episode is the Sambo version.
But the voice sounded like there was an approximation of that happening.
Yeah, I tried.
It's good. It's good. But he was also Cobra Commander under hypnosis, or whatever Interrogator had done to him. So he was quite distant and washed out. Like
Interrogator, I believe it's in his file card that he can do some things with his voice, that he can convince people just by talking to them. I seem to remind that. But to come back, this was one of his favorite clones. And as in the cartoon, Cobra Commander has a soft spot for Zartan. Come on. Zartan gets away with so many things. Destro is every time upset, and he just forgives him. He likes the man, he likes the character, and in this case as well, Zartan asks to get paid. What does the Cobra Commander do? We actually don't know, but he starts laughing. So that there's something of respect or friendship. I don't know, perhaps it's his apprentice, I don't know, but there's something going on which is old, and why Zartan can get away with a lot of stuff. But there's also a lot of respect for this particular clone. And I wanted to show that by the way Zartan is handling him, laying him down. Baroness is doing all kinds of things to get him back. although he dies, but she is really pushing the troopers through. A lot of troopers are dying to get him back. So this particular clone is well loved by the Emperor. The other clones, a few of them you can see right now in the background. You see Hooded Commander on the left and a Lord Baron Ironblood on the right, which is also a custom from from Run.
I was about to say that looks like a more bend to the elbow than a original Baron Ironblood could get. This is this is an O-ring figure, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know, Ron, if you want to elaborate on the O-ring or
the Baron Ironblood.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Craig's Radek sculpt. So I've had that for a while. He created a head, torso, and crotch, and the arms and legs were used from an existing figure. And Craig's is, I don't know if you know him, but he is an ex-Hasbro sculptor, and he also created the Pythona figure you see in the video.
That's another question a lot of people had. They were like, where did you get an O-ring Pythona?
Yeah, I paint the Pythona was painted by me, but he creates those figures, and he really knows his business. So just reach out to him, and you can get one for yourself.
Well, marvelous work on the paint job, Ron.
He has one with or without earrings.
Oh,
just like Serrana.
Wow. Which one is more valuable, and which one looks better in your opinion? Do you like the earrings?
I prefer this one with earrings, yeah.
With the earrings, yes. Yeah, and that's also what we wanted to show is a lot of our customs. So in this case, there are a lot of customs made by Ron. We did some rhinos, which we made from GI Joe vehicles to Cobra through the stickering. But that's also important to us. Like in Barging In, we showed also a lot of customs and also play value from the toys, and we did that in this Playmotion as well, because that to us is what Playmotion is about. So yeah.
And you weren't afraid of using the reaction figures. Baroness is played by a 5-point of articulation GI Joe Super 7 reaction figure.
Actually, the O-ring Baroness
and so is
also
Major Blood. From what I can tell.
No, Major Blood
is
is
it not?
original,
it's O-ring.
fashion one.
I was like, wait, I'm sure it was O-ring when I watched this, and then I'm looking at the screenshot, I'm like, oh, okay, now I can see the pin on the shoulder.
The original Major Blood had an arm which could not bend. So
that's correct. Yeah.
But I mean, it fits that you use the version of Baroness because it's the cartoon version.
Well, there's a different reason behind this. First of all, this is also a clone. The other Baroness is also in this episode. Albeit very short, you can see her piloting one of the choppers coming from the Black Rhino. But so also the Baroness is using the same technique to be everywhere, and with 5 points of articulation figures, I love them. But they are you cannot use them for a lot of action. They just stand. But in some cases,
they look good in close-up.
I will, The head sculpts are perfect, and in this case, Baroness is not doing anything, just commanding. So it's not a problem that she just stands, and that's why I thought, okay, in this case, I can use it. I normally have a lot of the Super 7 reaction figures. I love them, but I normally use them in the back, like troopers or civilians. I would never buy, for example, a Storm Shadow or a Snake Eyes because they need to move. But yeah, I love 5-POA figures. I mean, I grew up with Action Force, so I have a lot of the Z-Force. I have a lot of the Red Shadows. So I wanted to use her because she's just so beautiful. Her face is beautiful. So,
well, retro O-ring Baroness could make for a great failed clone in your plot with her giant forehead.
And the painted eyes. Oh, Lord.
I
I'm not the real
already
Baroness. Hobla.
customized her to something else, which you
too
will
late.
see shortly, I think. No, that is a terrible figure, but I customized her. I'm going to do something.
Yeah, the Mega
fun.
his Baroness is horrible.
Yeah, you're referring to
You give
that,
her a
yeah.
helmet. Just shave off the top.
No,
man.
she has
I left her-
sunglasses and a blonde wig.
Yeah,
Oh.
left her in the packaging.
Yeah, that's most people are doing that custom for her.
No, I gave her sunglasses and a blonde wig. She's going to use it.
Yeah. Anyway, but
She's
I
a
love
spy,
doing the
come
voice
on.
again with. I'm so happy we could use the Baroness again. I just love, doing the voice.
Actually,
Cobra.
There's always
Actually,
something quite Shakespearean about the Cobra High Command.
Yeah. There's something Mark and I share within the GI Joe hobby, and that is so we tend to give the female characters a lot of room. So whenever possible, we want to integrate them into our storyline.
Absolutely.
if-
I
if-
couldn't
I
agree
don't know if
more.
you can-
Any opportunity to get.
Z-Force, Z-Force, yeah, whatever.
Hey, Jimmy.
Z-Force. No, but Ron actually voiced also
Whoopsie.
Pythona. And I find the voicing of Pythona really, really cool because you cannot hear it's Ron. It's yeah. I think he done Pythona. He did a very good job with that. So yeah.
And it's a rather chilling job as well. She seems held deafening Cobra Commander's life force, which sounds dreadful. Can't you just let the guy die in peace? Siphon his life force.
Yeah,
But
that
is
would
there
be
a
too
purpose
easy,
behind
right?
siphoning the life force from him?
I'm curious to see
are
what
they...
that. Oh, that was probably the machine at the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, but what I want to know is like, aside from just siphoning his life force, is there a purpose to it? Like, is there a specific reason they want Cobra Commander's life force? Do they want to use it to make a new Cobra Commander, or what is there like? Because that's a kind of a question I had in the back of my head. Was like, is there something special about his life force?
Well, we haven't really thought about that.
It sounded
but
cool. That's what
Yeah,
it
it
is.
sounded cool, but
That works too.
You know, in the realm of Cobra La, I can also imagine that sucking the life out of one organism could give life to another. So, to their bug collection, for example, or their, defensive beasts they have, So
And
sucking
there
the
is- yeah.
life out of Cobra Commander.
But
Yeah.
perhaps, Paul, you want to imagine that Cobra Commander in this setting is more than just a human being or a human clone. He's kind of some kind of augmented being.
There's something special about it.
Yeah, like
he's-
something
he's
special. Like,
worked on
why is he a
himself, or Someone
clone?
has worked on him.
Yeah, because if he's a clone, then what makes the original so special, and how does that go into the clones? Because, and I'm leaning into Star Wars here a little bit. Palpatine's clones. There's I'm trying to remember exactly the because it was a long time ago when I read Shadows of the Empire. Was it Shadows? Anyway, the Palpatine's force, his ability to wield force or whatever, is when it comes to the clones, they're actually less powerful, if I'm not mistaken, or they can't use the force if there's two of them in existence at the same time. The one can't use the force.
Or are you
something to
invoking that
respect.
horrid last movie? Which
No,
I still haven't
dude,
seen.
I'm talking
Good.
about the
I
old
have-
comic books. The old
Legacy.
Yeah,
Okay.
there was that whole thing with
Extended universe.
Palpatine's
Oh yes, of
clones.
course. Dark
yeah.
Empire.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well,
Thank you. I said Shadows.
Very
I meant to
good.
say Dark
Thank
Empire.
you.
Yeah. There we go. Thank you,
Well,
Matthew Comstock.
Matt's
coming
on
to
your
my
ass, and
rescue.
so am I. We'll get you to get it right.
No, it's cool, man. It's just I
Great
read it
stuff.
once and it was like forever ago. So I kind of, but when I was watching this,
Really
it kind
good.
of evoked a bit of
Really,
Dark
really.
Empire. Well, bit of Star Wars in me. So
I don't know.
Well,
Dark
I mean, just
Empire.
the entire setting is fantastic. I mean, the use of Skull Mountain as well as the colors across the entire piece feels very cartoony and feels very
Snake Mountain.
Snake Mountain. It feels really cool. Like it has a very unique tone to it, which I think is uniquely yours, which I think is really cool. And people definitely want to see more of it. We need more now.
I bought the Snake Mountain because I wanted something big. I love Snake Mountain as a kid. I don't own a USS flag like Ron. This is my USS flag. This one time chance I had to buy it, I thought I want to do this no matter what. Even if I have to wait like 3 years, which 2 years I think I did. But when it came, it always was meant for GI Joe. I have a lot of classics Motu figures, but they are just too big. This Snake Mountain scales so much better with the Joes. The stairs, the inside of the snake, which is hollow out where I slide Zartan through, it was not meant for that, but it just works. And it's really big. I mean, yeah, it should be impressive. So you can make a lot of scenes in there, a lot of rooms. So it was actually bought for GI Joe, and I really wanted to show it off, all its functions, all its playability, the secret door, the entrance, the slide. It's a beautiful set. I'm really proud that I have it. Yeah.
Outstanding.
No, when you said Snake Mountain and really big, you got Shira's attention, and but as I'm looking at the screenshots, because actually this is a screenshot I saved as well. I love the scale of this, like how Snake Mountain works so well with GI Joe, more so than Castle Grayskull does, in the sense that. Like there are exaggerated places in Snake Mountain that I just feel just work, and you've got that classics, the Motu Classics one, so that's even better. Or it looks like the Motu Classics.
It is.
Yeah. It's gonna have to be with all of that cool stuff. So I love and that's actually it's a great moment now. I love your set design, guys, in this production. Like wow, you made a very good looking Playmotion. Mark, I think I said as much to you in a private chat. But wow, you guys made a great looking Playmotion. I mean, I'm just going to flash up these two shots on the screen now. The one, Steve had it earlier with Globulus and Cobra Commander, and you got those two Vipers in the background with the gold. This shot, I love this scene, and it was great to see Photo Viper also like sort of pitch in on the comments earlier with this is good looking, this is a great looking show. I'm paraphrasing, of course. And then this scene, which I used for the thumbnail. Well, it was one of my planned shots. I think I did use it for the thumbnail of this chat. And I love this, man. This is so cool. This is so... It kind of...
What scene is it for?
It's when Zartan's walking with Cobra Commander in his arms. It's going into the sort of funeral march vibe. But you've got these great walls, which are from... I think it's that Fantastic Playsets, or I can't even remember the name of that playset company.
Extreme?
But they do these... Extreme, thank you.
Extreme sets.
But but it looks like you've painted a bit of card in the background with that kind of reddish tone, and for some reason it just evokes Doom and Quake for me, and I love it because it sets the whole tone so well. I really love these play sets, and I really love this shot. And I mean, dude, I'm kind of jealous of your army building here because you don't have thousands, you just have a great group. And you know what it makes me think of? Is the Benelux catalog. And this whole Playmotion is very Benelux for me. No, dude, if you grew up with it, it's a major inspiration. So
it is for everything. Yeah, for the coffee table books I made, for the Playmotions I made, for this scenery, the way I put my soldiers, the way I place them. That Benelux catalog, oh my God, it's like my Bible. Yeah. Sorry, I hope you're not religious, but it is such an inspiration. Yeah.
Look, even if you are, it is a place of worship for action figure fans.
Yeah.
Just showing us a roadmap of like how how cool you can make these things look. And
Yeah.
action figure photographers today have that thing to thank. Like just for
definitely.
like, if you really take this stuff seriously, it's art. Speaking of, Mark dropped a little
Snake
hint
Mountain.
just now about coffee table books, and if you
Oh,
scratch
sorry.
your head, no, absolutely. Look, Mark, that's a kind of a backlog of work that I've just never had a chance to crack into. But some months ago, Mark sent me a pair of hardbound, like Dio Story
I remember,
books.
yeah.
I mentioned them on the podcast, but I have not showcased them in a video yet. I'm trying to think of a clever way of doing it, like story
A
time
really
with
smart way of
Steve.
doing it is just doing it, I think.
Well, what with the camera
Just-
pointed
just
down at the
point it
table,
down and it's, like you're in a chair.
turning the pages. I don't
I
want
think
to. I don't want to
it's-
scan them in. I like
No,
the
don't
idea of
do
like,
that. You want to be able to see them.
but I also want the camera to kind of really get in there and show off. Firstly, your set building. I mean, as Paul was alluding to, you have a mix of printed card sets that were purchased from Extreme Sets, but then the deep background are these incredible like oil paintings of
Yeah.
like just kind of almost abstract color, like a comic, a cartoon background artist would do a sky with clouds as the deep background to their other painted elements. Like it's
I know one of
amazing
those.
composition, and it's all done with paper elements stacked in front of the camera. You know, you're not trying to create this photoreal world that so many action figure photographers are doing. Yours is a far more stylized, like artistic approach, and it works.
I love it so
And I
much,
will
man.
show it all on
And
this channel, I promise.
And this shot encapsulates that perfectly. It's where Zartanen's standing in front of this stairway, and you've got the painted sky background, and you've got the hand-drawn stairs, and it just feels very animated series. And Mark, I can't tell you how this shot, or what I can't express to you fully how this shot actually hit me, because when I saw it, my first initial gut reaction was like, it took me to the 80s, like immediately. I was like in the 80s when I saw the shot. Then
The hot
I had a bit of a,
peeking out of the blue, like
but
dark
not
blue
just
sky.
that. It just has this like grade to it, like, and this helped me a lot, by the way, when I made the funeral music, like looking at this shot. But my word, dude, like this just took me back. I thought of Ghostbusters. I thought of Neverending Story. I thought of Dark Crystal, even like came to mind. Like, and it was just a rush of like nostalgia, and then it just felt like a cartoon. So Mark, thank you. You guys, thank you for this shot.
Wow.
It might not seem like a lot in the eyes of many others, but for me, this teleported me. This took me somewhere, and it definitely gave me ideas for what we can do going forward with the Playmotion stuff as well. Because, and I'm going to mention this now, because Rob, Steve, I don't think you guys know this, I've been made a cricket ambassador. So I'm getting one of their machines to cut out stuff and do all this kind of cool stuff with. So
you mean like cricket? You know what I mean? Like cricket?
no, not like cricket
sport.
the sport, cricket the machine. It's a machine that cuts things and does all kinds of fun,
Oh, okay.
interesting
I
stuff.
had no idea what that was.
No, it's good. That's
fantastic.
why I'm an ambassador. I'm supposed to tell people about this.
Okay, so you're gonna tell everyone about
I'm
it.
just waiting for it to arrive. So,
Okay. Then you can
anyway,
tell us all about,
but Mark,
you know, that you don't like cricket, you love it.
God, I hate cricket.
You
Anyway.
can't see my face now, but I'm completely blushing.
No, shame, Mark. Sorry, man. It's just, yeah, dude. Like,
No, but
I just-
I really try to evoke the cartoon and the 80s. That's a choice, which because my Joes are living in that age, and also
Very
also
dark, moody skies, full of drama and color and violence.
If I place a temple on Eternia, it should look like it coming from the He-Man cartoon. It's I really, yeah. It's a heavy metal, also a great inspiration. It's yeah, I use it and you can see it, but you naming all the right inspirational things, it just you tick all the boxes. It's like, yes, that's what I'm trying to do. So yeah, thank you.
yay! Oh, that language. And as somebody who is a background painter for cartoons, yeah, I was just it was cool. You even your brickwork is just so cleverly thought out. It's a tricky thing to get right. You know, at first when I saw it, I thought maybe it was like because I looked at it, you know, and I didn't want to stare at it. I was too busy staring at Zartan initially, and I thought, what playset is that from initially? That was like kind of my thinking. But anyway, enough gushing over this. I'm gonna make you blush, and then you'll die from blushing or something.
On a practical note, though, okay, I'm going to describe it a little bit for the listeners who aren't privy to the visuals. So I already described this kind of moody sky, which you've oil painted onto some card. You know, it looks like you had some cardboard box that you flattened out. And that's the deep background. The foreground is Zartan carrying a very limp Cobra Commander. I mean, essentially at this stage he's already dead.
Spoilers,
yeah.
He's wearing it as a handbag or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not the most dignified way to put the Cobra Commander to rest. Though, in contrast to that, he carries him quite tenderly all the way up this very long staircase into the main chamber, past all the assembled troops, and lays him, as I say, very tenderly at the foot of the Emperor. So, I mean, excellent action figure manipulation throughout all of that. I asked you offline, Mark, like, how many takes did it take to get that whole procession right? Because it's tricky, sliding an action figure along the ground and cradling another action figure and then tilting that action figure so that the other action figure doesn't just clatter to the floor, but is laid very gently down. Like, it was impressive. And you said you got that in what, 1 or 2?
2 takes. Yeah.
2 takes. Extremely long takes. So you didn't want to screw it up. You're like, if I have to go back to first positions, this is another minute and a half of like rolling to get this right. But anyways, getting back to the picture on screen, in the midground, you've got this staircase, which is a 2-dimensional piece of cardboard. Is this an illustration of yours? Is this a printed set? What is this?
No, this is hand drawn.
Hand drawn. So, wow.
so he's forced the perspective,
And it's
so
actually,
it looks like
you don't see
we're
it,
at
but
the
it's
bottom.
actually the front is 2-dimensional, but the piece on top is 3D, and it folds like a pyramid in the back, so it has sidewalls. And when I turn it around, you don't see it in this video, but it has an inside, and that shows you the tomb of Thundercat's Mumra.
Oh,
Amazing.
wow, Mark.
It's a
Wow. Just
It's
But this
three-way
is
crossover
hand-drawn.
now.
yeah.
Yeah, Thundercats also, like Transformers, Thundercats, it's all there.
Cool, man.
Is it pencil on green card?
Color pencil.
Wow. Well, were you a background artist by any chance? I mean, this is some
I'm
skillful
curious.
work.
No, this is just a hobby of mine.
Self-taught.
As it should
my
be.
goodness.
As it should
You got
be.
skills, boy.
Keep it up.
Very
Keep it
good.
up, man.
Whew.
Speaking of,
All
I
right.
can't wait to see that hardbound book. I'm dying to see that in the flesh. Mark, I know that
Well,
you,
a picture
you're also
is
quite
worth
excited
1,000
about me
words.
seeing that.
I'm going to go grab them. Meanwhile, Ron, we haven't heard from you in a while, pal. Give us
Just wanna make sure
your
you're okay.
perspective. Yeah, exactly. Check the man's pulse. Still with us?
Yeah, no,
I know that
I'm
he
still
was
here.
not-
So
not feeling great this
basically,
weekend. How are you feeling now?
Oh, I'm doing much better, but it's yeah. Yeah, but yeah,
It's
Mark
not
is
fun.
driving this thing mostly, so I just give him all the space he needs to for his story to tell. But I must say this was yeah, also new for me to mix those various styles, and it was such fun. Yeah.
Excellent. And inspiring at all? I mean, I know that, I mean, for me, Cobra, they never really had any intrigue of their own. They were always this enigmatic baddie group for my good guys to chase after. But
I do like the idea
kind
of the coil, for
the
example.
power struggles. are
Yes,
so
the
interesting.
power struggle.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots there. Of course, the Cobra organization is just held together by greed and self-interest, and it's very easy.
So much more interesting than the
have-
altruistic good guys.
Yeah, so it's quite easy that to have it fall apart in different factions if there are conflicting interests. So there's a lot you can do with that.
Who is your favorite character to play between Pythona and Baroness?
Yeah, actually, I would like to revisit Pythona in a future video.
With a custom that good, how can you not?
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
totally.
It's amazing.
Yeah, but she's also.
I'm going to grab that book. You boys talk
Do
amongst
it.
yourselves.
Do it.
Yay!
He's gonna grab a book for us, guys. It's reading time.
It's gonna be Studiman. Here comes Studiman. Guys, that was a series in South Africa. It was a book series that came with a tape. And I'm sure everybody had these things.
Yeah,
Golden
we
also made a
couldn't
whole...
read things, on our own.
And it
We
was
had to
like,
have, they had to be
and
read
then
to
the-
us.
Exactly. And then Duke shot Cobra Commander in the nuts. At the turn the page. Yo, Joe! Turn the page. So anyway.
But I think it's true. You can explore a lot more infighting with Cobra versus GI Joe, because GI Joe, it's a military unit. They're
Exactly.
working towards a certain goal, while Cobra
G.I.
is
Joe's pretty
diverse.
straightforward. Yeah.
They're the get-along gang.
Yeah, essentially. But in Cobra, because they have their own reasons for being in Cobra.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like, it's kind of like, I don't know if you guys are watching Andor, but it's something about Andor that I'm really digging, is that even the good guys are kind of also, they have to do a few bad things, and that kind of makes them interesting as well. So,
Wow.
yeah. So that's
Interesting.
why,
Star Wars.
yeah, dude, I know, it's crazy. Andor is
That's
great.
wild.
You guys need to watch it.
Steven, what is
Steven
this?
All
has
right,
it
boys
done.
and girls, it's show and tell time. The lighting ain't great.
Wow. Mark?
These
Wow.
are hardbound books that Mark has created and sent off to us. This is the first one that I flipped through, and just open onto a random page, and you're going to see gorgeousness, amazing layouts of extreme sets.
But
and
we need to explore this
a
properly.
dire
This is amazing.
story. But let me find and showcase what I was talking about with the very painterly stuff happening in the background. It goes into space, and you see crazy intergalactic combat. My camera, as I say,
and please
doesn't do
take a
justice.
good look at Mark's version of the X19. Maybe Mark, you can tell us a bit about that, because that's beautiful.
This is from
Also-
the Power Lord line, the Phantom Striker, and I sold my X19, the Phantom X19, because I had it since I was 14, and I played with it 3 times because it's way too big. And it's so beautiful, but I did not do anything with it. But I kept Ghost Rider because I love him. So I went on searching for something that would fit, that would go into space, and I found this Phantom Striker. It's also called a Phantom Striker from the Power Lord line, and I customized it into Phantom X19 version 2,
So
the
Mark,
smaller one.
the real question on
Gorgeous.
everybody's minds right now
Beautiful.
is when are we starting a Kickstarter or something for you to get a bunch of these done? Because I'm sure other people, I'm sure people are dying for them. I'm seeing just in the comments alone, just for the few seconds that it was up, Dustin Cordish has just hit us with a whoa. That book looks phenomenal, and I think that's something maybe you should consider. I think a lot of people would really love to get their hands on
phenomenal too, and this is what sets your Dio stories apart from any other Dio story I've consumed, and that's the fact that it's in a physical medium, which just adds this layer of like premium.
That feels more authentic.
It has been such a delightful coffee table read, and it's actually destined for you, Paul. I think we should perhaps share these amongst us. Lucky us to have such a wonderful gift. But yeah, it's been a delight to have on my travels, Mark. So once again, man, thank you.
Hans Chow, I'd buy one. And guys, you should know Hans
even
Chow.
Hans would buy one.
Even Hans would buy one.
Well,
I really
I don't
need
know
to
if I've
think about
sold
that.
it well enough.
Yeah. They're quite expensive to make.
I'm sure they are.
No doubt.
And it takes a long time
Limited,
because
extremely limited edition.
currently I just finished my third coffee table book, which is all inspired by you guys photography did outside, which is really out of my comfort zone. So that is just finished, and that book is, I think, like almost 150 pages or something.
My
But
God.
a lot of short stories which I did outside. It's called season shorts because you see it throughout the entire year. And the last ones was an adventure I just shot last week on Bonaire underwater. I showed some pictures in the
Oh,
group, but the
wow.
story is not there yet.
Those
but
are
it's in the book.
beautiful.
So, yeah.
Sorry, Mark.
Location shooting, man.
I'm messing up your flow now. But Hans Chow, babies are also expensive. I have two. Give me the book. Spoon Killer.
Well,
I
as far as
don't
I'm
want
concerned,
one.
once-
I want two. That's our man, Spoon Killer. Yeah.
Does it mean babies or
I
books?
need to figure this out, guys, but I
need
will.
I'm guessing a
I will.
book.
I promise.
Well, there's
Yeah.
demand now, Mark.
Oh God.
Time to get in production.
I'm
Gary
pretty
would,
sure.
would start a Kickstarter for that. Yeah, he's all in.
Watch on Tuesday or Wednesday. Check out the comments for this video, and you're gonna see a whole bunch of guys are gonna be like, "Where can I get one of those books?"
There's
Yeah.
something, before we forget, Mark, there's something we need to tell, because Paul also mentioned this in one of the previous podcasts. He was talking about those handy lights you can carry around you in your pocket that you use for atmospheric lighting. And
Yeah.
Mark also has these LED lights that we used during the shoot, which gives Snake Mountain this the creepy feeling. So, for example, the lava, what's it called? The lava was also backlighted by one of those LED lights.
The lava fall. The
Yes,
waterfall.
the
from
waterfall,
lava,
the lava fall. Yeah. But just using those lights really adds so much to the overall atmosphere. I was quite amazed what it did. Just adding specific lights.
So these are the ones I use. I got a picture of them of the box on the screen. I use a Lightmons by Godox. It's the 6R. It's amazing. And yes, everything you said, Ron, it's insane. Like,
Yeah.
I just love what happens with your pictures and with your toys when you just have one of these. And I was gonna ask you guys about the lighting if you used something like that, because the lighting in your shots is so great. It's so not overdone. It's very subtle. It's you've painted the scenes with lighting, which is cool.
And
not
Mark
to
knows
sound
what
too
he's doing
artsy-fartsy,
with
but
this,
because
because he had very specific thoughts about how to set it up and everything. So, yeah, it was fun, but they ran out of batteries quite quickly, right?
Yeah, mine are. Yeah, they do. Hey, like, and I also find you don't have to run them at 100% either. You can actually run them at 50 or 30%, and
Yeah.
they're still pretty strong and they go longer. So
Yeah.
While we're on the praise train, Brother Malachi has shot back and said, "Oh, are we sure that you weren't responsible for the Benelux catalog in the 80s?" I think you overestimate Mark's age.
A bit.
Yeah, just a bit. Or maybe really junior staff, like 5 or 6 years old.
1990 it was the green one, I think. Is that correct, Ron? You know that? 1990. I was.
Yeah, that's the one you're mostly referring to.
Yeah. I
Cool.
was 13 at the time. Yeah.
Well, old enough to hold the camera.
Yeah.
Old enough to style some action figures. Man, I would have loved to just like work on posing them. But the kind of creativity that they showed, like I've often droned on about the fact that they seem to have disassembled joints in some instances, and like giving them impossible poses, like basically taking an O-ring finger and putting their one foot in front of the other. I think at one point Avalanche is standing.
I do that too.
Amazing.
I learned that from that catalog. Yeah.
The hacks. Very good.
All the hacks.
Yeah, why I came
think
to
it's
the point of the lighting is also because if you look in those photo books that you just showed, there are also some photos that use lighting in a very good way that really makes the figures shine and really. I'm not sure which one that is. Is that Mark? Is that the one with Stretcher in it?
Oh yes, that's the other book. I don't have that one. Well, it's over there if you don't mind stretching, Rob. But here we have a sequence where it's the same shot, framed the same way, but over here, over here we have a tank driving up and its headlight throwing the light on the base, and then right beside it, same setup, but the tank has gone into the base. And now the lighting state has changed. So kind of reminds me of something that you sometimes see in comic book art where the same pencils are colored differently to like create this transition. Rob has proffered the book. I'll try and find that bit where Stretcher does this thing. But yeah, I mean, not making great radio right now, but I will be putting this into a future.
Yeah.
Oh man!
So, I got a question for Mark and Ron. Like,
exactly.
There we go. Steve's got
so
that.
So that the close up and
wow.
yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah,
it's the flare. Yeah,
that's stunning.
If I wasn't podcasting from my kitchen right now, I would have gotten a better lighting setup. But as I say, I'll do this all hopefully a little bit better justice when I do a fully produced video on it, because it's begging to be done.
So I feel like you guys touched on this a little, but what was your favorite scene to shot, Mark and Ron? Like, what was
your favorite scene to shot?
Which was the fun one? Which was the one that was like the least effort or just worked out so nicely?
The trio.
For you.
The trio. The Sector Viper, the Sea Slug, and Toxa Viper. I just love them. It was fun. We laughed throughout. It is an easy shot. We did some battle scenes outside Snake Mountain with them as well, where they were sliding down in those wind-up mountain climbers. It didn't work, so it's not in the video. But yeah, we had a lot of fun with them. For me, that I mean, I also had a lot of fun of doing the Peppers Ghost with Zartan, but I did that alone. But what we did with the two of us, the trio, I love them. It's
and for me, I mean, give me toys and put them in the backyard, and then I have lots of fun with that. It's just the battle scene we did outside. Even it's for me just going through the sand with the Hiss 2. That reminds me of my childhood days. That I did it in a similar fashion. Yeah.
We had laughs about the crab droid as well. The crab droid is such an idiotic piece of toy.
Yeah,
it works. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I like the fact that you've reserved all the more out there and outlandish vehicles and equipment for the Cobra Law and Coil team. So you've got the classics, like the Hiss tank, being with the blue team. And then the freaks have the Buzzball and this crab droid, which is a Star Wars toy, I'm presuming.
Yeah.
Very good.
It is.
Nice soundscape, actually. This probably demands being spoken of quickly, because that crab droid had a great sound effect as it kind of creeps along and chases the Hiss. The Hiss tank had such a lovely sound design. And the beginning, very ominous, very like science fiction-y, spacey, as we see the shuttle Tidarium coming in for landing. Was this sound that you sourced on YouTube? Just kind of trawled it, finding the right...
I asked you before I started which program you use. So you gave me the what's this called? What I forgot the
NCH
name.
software, video
Something
pad, I
like
think
that.
it's called.
Yeah, precisely. So I
Right.
took your advice and used that, and it's actually in the library. So you have it as well.
All this time,
You could have had amazing sound.
Jeepers. In the library.
It's in your
I haven't even thought
library.
to look at the library.
Sound
Yeah.
library.
The first thing you looked at was like, whoa, what's in the library?
Brilliant.
Yeah. So, but I
Okay,
have
well-
to say because the sound was fun to do, but the music ties it all together. So that I want to say thank you, Paul. Your music is wonderful. It's
Over to you,
Thank you, man.
Paul.
yeah, it's beautiful. The way that the because the first two scenes are sounds they call science fiction sounds from the library from the program we use, and it so gradually evolves into the music, which is really cool, and also the funeral music you make at the end that really works. That's so
Thanks,
so
man.
good. So
Yeah,
that I wanted to point out as well. But yeah, the
Thanks,
sounds.
bud. Yeah. Wow.
It was really fun to explore all the sounds they have, and I first just skimmed through it. Can I use this? Can I use this? Oh, this is fun. I want to use this. So and that's how I came up with it. Yeah. And then Ron added some things that were missing that I could not find on the internet or not in the library. So from his program, he also added some stuff, and that's what you hear.
Oh, shot. Yeah, man, that funeral thing. Sorry, I just feel like I should elaborate on it. I went through quite a few ideas before I settled on something I liked. On the funeral, no, well, funerals, yeah, no, but like that composition because I wanted to make it. I had to fight making it vibey. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you guys have noticed. Like a lot of the GI Joburg music has kind of got like, it's got a bit of a jam to it. You can kind of dance to it, I suppose, if you really wanted to. But it's just that because I love dance music, so it comes through. So with the funeral march, I had to like do the opposite of that, and I struggled. And then I thought, okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna make like the most jamming funeral song I can. And then I was like, yeah. And then as I'm trying to do this, I'm like, I can't make a jamming funeral song. I'm like, this is sounding right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those, like, for music side of things, it's like if you're trying to make a house track, then you end up making a techno track, and you're kind of like, well, it's not my intention, but okay. So with the funeral track, I had to purposefully try to make something else, only to mess it up and have a funeral track. So
It works so
Well,
well.
something
the
somber.
end product timed so nicely with what I imagine Sartan's footsteps to be. So
It
it's
felt
synced.
also like a heartbeat, like a dying heartbeat. It's beautiful.
Thank you, man. That was kind of the foundation there, because I was like, I need to have something like that in there. There needs to be this kind of, you know, thud, this like heartbeat sound. So thank you. I'm glad that came through, or at least for you. So
Definitely. Really beautiful. Yeah.
Would appear Brother Malachi was wanting to see a coffin dance out of the commander. Cobra Commander goes to hell.
I got an interesting
Amazing.
comment here from Spoonkiller, actually.
Okay.
I wonder if we should indulge this. We should have an episode on nothing but the process Paul goes through for the soundtrack. I feel like
That's terrific.
I'm
I feel like
definitely-
I would watch that.
definitely
Watch it. Anytime you want to throw that up, Paul,
Go on.
just
Yeah,
go right
I'm
ahead,
just,
my friend.
do it.
I think I'm gonna have to
Episode,
do it with one of you guys
223,
near me.
Paul, Music making time.
I think we need to like shoot it as like a bit of a mock documentary.
Do
just
you
for the
do
hell
like
of it.
this, bro? Do you like go wiki? Do you hold your headphone and
Wiki.
like go wiki?
Hell
Hey.
yeah.
That could be
Great.
a great audio
No.
tour. You know,
But you guys
like
know that I
exercise
do
for
this a
the
lot,
ear.
though. Like when I'm mixing,
it's like
I'll
that.
do that. I'll monitor. Yeah, but not with these. I'll use these because they're more comfortable for it. Because I'll show you now. I'm just
Oh
gonna
wow.
take these
Okay.
headies off.
He gets uncomfortable
So,
for GI
for example,
Joburg.
This is a preview of what you'll get on the show. Yeah.
Sweet.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it immensely.
Glow sticks optional. But Spot says boots and pants and boots and pants. Boots and pants and boots and pants and boots and pants and
Boots and pants and boots and pants and boots and pants and socks.
Keep this
and
going.
shorts and boots.
Guys, I think we can put a pin in our Playmotion discussion with a view to asking everyone what they've got in this past week or past month.
Ooh.
Any new toys that anyone wants to talk about? Ron,
Mark,
you want to lead
Ron?
the charge, buddy?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I just talked about the Toxo zombie, right?
Yeah. Was that
Yeah.
recent? Okay.
Yes, exactly. But actually, a bunch of eco warriors came with it.
Toxo zombie.
And
One must.
And I also indulged myself a little more. So the water shooting planes came in, Liquidator and Storm Eagle.
Hey.
Of course.
Great.
Crazy.
The hand,
Okay.
Yeah.
the handle and the trigger fold away, and they're perfectly serviceable mini planes. I love them.
Exactly.
I wish I knew that when I was younger.
And
Shit,
lots
oh.
more, because here in the Netherlands, some collectors are selling quite a bit, and I just feel it shouldn't go all to waste, so it comes into my collection.
I have those arguments with myself all the time, Ron.
Save the toys.
It's gonna go to waste. They're just gonna throw it into the bin. I'm saving this toy. Yeah. Sure.
So
Awesome,
it's a bit
buddy.
much
Well,
at the
I-
moment, so yeah.
I'm quite thrilled with those jets myself. They came into my collection via a happy story as well. I found them mint in sealed box in Hong Kong, both of them,
Wow.
and I gifted them to myself as a birthday present. They weren't inexpensive, but I thought to have the delight of a never touched GI Joe and Cobra jet, yeah, and as
Yeah,
a
that's
result,
wonderful.
they kind of have these lenses of being a lot cooler than most people regard them as. So I will champion those to the death for the simple reason that, like,
Paid a lot for them.
exactly. Always a good reason. But
Steve, did you bring them
seriously,
back
like,
to
the
South
mold-
Africa?
Yes, they're
They're in the next room.
and because they're so
thinking that,
minty,
Yeah.
because the plastic is so untouched, like they're the only toys that are left like with a drape over them. Like they are kind of dust proofed as possible. Oh, coming back to my collection after 3 years, only 9 figures needed O-ring replacements.
That's wild.
Unbelievable.
That's amazing.
However, more rubbery figures like Marvel Universe figures and the old Power Team Elite guys have this thin film of mold.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
They're
I know what you're
moldy.
talking about.
Yeah, from being in the dark, being in a cupboard,
It's
being sealed up.
crazy. I've never seen that before.
Well, it's a more porous plastic, that sort of malleable, squishy plastic than, say, an O-ring GI Joe. So those guys are just a mold magnet. Hopefully, a soapy bath will sort them out.
So you added mold to your collection. That's fantastic. Wow.
It's alive.
Sunlight liquid. Sunlight liquid, dude. And
Sunlight
like
liquid.
some
There we go.
elbow, yeah, and
White-
a bit of
white
elbow
wine
grease, 'cause
vinegar?
that's the- Ooh,
Perhaps. Yeah.
I would be. Try it on one that you don't like. So.
Look, white wine vinegar is pretty harmless. You use it on your walls if you've got mold in the house, so and it stops the
Yeah, I
mold from coming
suppose.
back. Anyways, boring
Anyway.
subject.
Boring.
Mark,
Mark,
Do you want to
have
see what I got?
No.
no. You wonder what Mark's got.
I want to see what Mark's got too.
Well, my last purchase were the Super 7 Reaction Cobra female troopers, which I really love.
Ooh.
Beautiful head sculpts as well. Also, I got myself a blonde cover girl, and she is unfortunately butt ugly. She is not beautiful.
Surprise.
Yeah, well, they do beautiful head sculpts. I mean, the reaction figures they have. You saw the Baroness. So I had my hopes up for the blonde cover girl, and she's only sitting in a tank. So I thought, okay, I will do this. But she will end up as a female trooper in the background because I cannot use. She has such a blank stare.
Aw.
Yeah, it's not well done. No. no, unfortunately. So, but I'm really happy with the Cobra female troopers because they are excellent. They're really beautiful. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. And
What
they
have you got
actually.
them set up doing?
Sorry.
What have you got them set up doing? What is their duty?
I haven't figured out yet, but they will appear in photos in probably in next coffee table book or an adventure with Ron, or I don't know. Yeah, but
Destro likes bubble baths.
Yeah, flanking the Baroness. But yeah, they're definitely.
well, I'm planning to do something a bit in like the episode from Sunbow, the what is it called, the Siren Skull or the Siren Spell or something, Spell of the Siren. So all female characters. I do have a lot of female characters. Female
I think I've even seen that.
Yeah, something with the shell, the call,
With the conch.
the call of
With
the
the
siren.
conch.
I don't know. Yeah.
Conch.
Yeah.
That's
So-
That
awesome.
shell.
Oh man,
So,
Paul.
Steve, what did you get?
I was waiting for Rob to do that.
Well, actually, guys, it's time. It's time Rob got his swag.
All right. Well, so Stephen, so I did it to Paul, and now you do it to Paul.
There you go.
Yeah, you're a trendsetter, bedwetter,
Apparently,
skin
we're
shedder.
waiting for the lag.
So, what first?
I have no idea. Give me a thing that I know about, maybe.
Paul, is my video still live?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay, well, fantastic.
It's-
We just can't see
It's
it.
frozen on our end, but because Rob loves
Why are your pants
Dreadnok-
off?
Absolutely.
Because Rob loves the Dreadnoks so
They're my
much.
favorite.
And he does, eh? He's like,
I
I
give to
heart
you-
Zartan.
The Dreadnok Swampfire.
Wow. This thing is.
It really
Well,
floats.
I've always been
for a while.
fascinated by it, I think, because I was never sure what it looked like. Because at least from the very few pictures that I've seen of it, I didn't know it was this shape. This is interesting. I do like it. I have no problem with this. It's so new.
Yeah, it's pretty squeaky clean. I'm curious though. Are we still
Are we still live, Paul?
hello?
You are still live, you're just not full screen. Let me make you full
Oh.
screen.
Make us full screen.
Okay. Make us full screen.
There
We
you
need to
go.
dominate.
Yeah, Steven's computer, as always, has problems. But yeah, this is actually really cool.
Sonic Dominator. Rob, it's awesome. It even floats for a couple of seconds.
And it changes color in the sun.
It's supposed to,
changes
but mine
color.
doesn't.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
And please watch out for that
Sorry.
propeller, because that's like the weak point on that vehicle.
Okay.
Well-
so I must just snap it off.
This is a group effort. The shell and chassis are from a Australian gentleman called Alan Grant. Not to be confused with Dr.
Not
Alan
with
Grant.
Ah,
Dr. Alan Grant.
But it was in need of a few parts, and those were sourced by our good buddy in the chats, actually, Gary V. Ironmonger. Thank you very much,
Heck
Gary.
yeah.
So yes,
It's
the
so
props and the tail rotor, those are his.
This is actually really nice.
It's good fun,
I'm
man.
surprised.
I
I mean, I'm going to have a Dreadnok to go with it, I guess.
This is yours. It's
Oh.
Bushido. He's missing his horns, but that's how I differentiated him from my one.
That's true. Well, this is my wait. This is my actual Bushido. You not like, give me
I
another one.
found it in the
Like, we
drawer,
have
and I was like, "This is
three.
actually
We don't
Rob's."
have-
So
we don't need three of
have
these
it back.
guys.
Yes, here you go, pal.
Take it back.
Your
you
very
heathen.
first Dreadnok action figure, Zanzibar.
Wow,
Oh,
we
and his
started
hair
with
looks
my
so
favorite.
great.
This is from Cody Scalf.
No ways.
I have a duplicate, so it is destined for you. It has seen use in ongoing Playmotions during my vlog saga.
Saga Adventures.
And Zanzibar is such a
Okay.
rock star, man. He's a great
You know?
toy.
Have a hammer.
And I have a hammer.
Have a
Mighty
hammer.
hammer.
Take a
He's
multi
got a
hammer.
hammer.
Take a
He's
hammer.
still snacking here with his hammer.
Keep the
Don't get
Dreadnok
confused,
train
like,
rolling.
Not Larry
Wow.
Hammer.
You can't have
I
a
absolutely love that you're gifting me all of the Dreadnoks. This is incredible.
you can't have a thunder
Thrash
machine
out.
without
I
a
go
thrasher.
from zero Dreadnoks to all of them in one night. This is insane.
But what a great sculpt, man! Thrash
I know
is
he is fantastic.
brilliant.
He's a really cool
with the
toy.
green stuff. It's just
Dude,
just
Thrash is
bonkers
probably
design.
one of the-
So good.
I don't know. The Dreadnoks are just a wealth of great sculpts for me, and Thrasher is, one of the best out of them.
Yeah,
Even the modern
definitely.
era Thrasher is amazing.
All those little
like-
spikes and points, terrific.
Yeah, absolutely incredible.
Rob's got Bushido riding the swamp fire.
Hell
I
yeah.
blanked for a sec.
It makes sense because I mean he turns invisible like Zartan does.
And you should try putting this in sunlight and see if you observe any changes.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay.
I hope you do.
You hope I notice changes or I put it in the sun?
Paul,
No, I hope
know-
it actually changes.
Oh.
Rob, I know that you are a 1989 aficionado, but
Absolutely.
once upon a time you made
I
an
know a lot
argument
about
for 1986 being your favorite year, and one of the great reasons was this guy.
Serpento.
An original Serpento.
An
Ooh.
originally
Now it's
I
broken
have,
leg.
I have the
You've got the comic
book
pack version, yeah. And that's actually his piece. It's from your comic pack version,
That's amazing.
but it was
But it looks better on this one. Well, it's debatable.
it needs a cape, but here he is, and that's also the comic pack version's knife.
So that's
not
so
the
nice.
original
Stephen
knife?
is giving me back all the things that he didn't give to me 3 years ago. So I'm getting it all back now.
Well, once again, this is an Alan Grant donation. The Emperor has
Very
landed.
nice.
This is wow. There's a theme here. Everything's green. Is the next figure also green?
Negatory. The next
Alright.
figure is Serana. I didn't know it was you.
I wasn't being serious when
Chris
I
McLeod, eat
said
your heart
that
out.
my entire Dreadnok collection was starting tonight, but apparently it is.
Oh yeah, dude, she's an awesome
Yeah,
figure.
Rob.
And this
What's
one,
the good looking one?
it depends on your
In my
definition. She's
opinion, that's the good looking one. You're right.
Okay.
you don't like the earrings, yeah?
I hate that
I don't
other
know. I've
one
never
so
had
much.
earrings, Serana.
Ugh, it's just frightening.
This one has been cracked and opened, so you can replace the
Yeah.
O-ring.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, she's no longer glued.
I'm often replacing O-rings a lot.
That's dirty in my brain.
is amazing.
Carry on.
What even?
Hey Rob, the internet heard you. They're like,
it's
Rob
happening.
loves the Dreadnoks. So
Apparently
We
not.
take a break from the
my favorite
Dreadnok madness. This donation comes from Rob. Rob to Rob. Here you go, bro.
Rob,
You spoke about it on the podcast,
Rob.
and the danger of
Rob
speaking about
to
anything
Rob.
on the podcast is
It seems to arrive.
kindly souls
Rob
step into the
to
void.
Rob.
Absolutely insane. Well,
Rob.
the main man would be Quick Kick. This is
Quick
so
kick. Frozen for Jews.
That is, he's so cool. I mean, you own one, but like, it's cool to have my own one. And thank you, Rob. He's absolutely amazing.
Quick kick's
Mm.
badass,
And he-
dude.
He is going to be featured in our next Playmotion.
I actually
Alongside
took a break
Norva
from.
Hyde.
I took a short break from carrying Storm Shadow around to carry Quick Kick around for a while. He's a cool
You
toy.
did.
You
I
did
did.
do that.
Mm.
That's insane. Who's
What
this
else
guy?
you
He's also
got?
fun to play with.
There's a
like-
ninja.
Night
It's a
Creeper.
Night
Yeah,
Creeper.
Night Creeper Ninja Man.
Check how incredibly immaculate his silver paint still is.
That is wild.
Like, I've never known a Night Creeper to be so silvery. Like, mine were always like totally tarnished just from handling. It wasn't like we were scraping him along the concrete. No, it's just from like,
a
childhood
ninja.
play.
Ninja's got to do shit, That's amazing because I also don't own this figure.
There you go, baby.
Rob, thank you. Thank you for giving your stuff back to yourself.
And now
Insane. All right, so we.
the big boy
Uh-oh.
from Mauler Joe.
It's
For the listeners, you know this sound. Whoa, amazing. That is the sound of an optimized Mauler engine.
that is wild.
Hey,
It likes to
very
go
own
fast.
Mauler NDT. I mean,
It's
of course, Mauler
a
Joe.
Sonic-
It had
it's
to
a
be a
Sonic
Mauler.
Mauler.
It's
Is
some
it radio
heavy ass
controlled?
batteries.
Is it radio
This is-
controlled?
This is the non-radio controlled version.
I was like, I don't need radios.
Rob one, and I must admit, the non-radio controlled version became very useful in shooting the tank battle in Seconds to Midnight, because if you're working alone, you want something that is autonomous, that you just set it up and off it goes. Whereas trying to jostle a remote control and film and place the tank where you want it to start and finish. Like, yeah, so
Yeah,
this was the
not
hero
doing that.
tank.
Yeah.
And it is indomitable. Like, it just goes. You will
Well,
You will
I
see.
will discover this.
we're
Beautiful.
gonna hit the
That's
road
insane.
and hit the garden just now and tear this bad boy up. But we've almost come to the end
What?
of the
There's
donations.
more.
No, there's always got to be one more.
But wait, kids, if you call now.
Is it? Please tell me it's Ripper. Or is it?
Ripper.
Is
Come
the
on,
other
guys,
one?
guys, in
it
unison,
lightning?
in unison. What is the final figure for Rob?
It's probably Scoop.
Yeah, it must be Scoop.
Yes, Scoop.
Scoop.
So
With
this was the first
microphone.
scoop I ever purchased because it had the mic.
Ah.
But then a better one came up even
Why is
cheaper.
the other one better? Because it's not as
because
high.
it's cheaper.
It was
Yeah, but he
cheaper.
already owned it.
Scoop, of course. The chorus in the comments, I hope. There we go. Gaz and Hans. Beautiful boys. Thank you. Yeah, so
It's
I
also
know
a good version too.
I know you said you don't army build scoops, but since you are probably
The only person who
the
seems to
world's
appreciate it.
foremost scoop aficionado, expect them to just come out of the woodwork and fall in your
It's
lap,
a really
bro.
good version.
I agree.
A nice screw too.
Nice screw, good joints. They're kind of buttery, not too stiff. They've been played with, but they're not loose. Comes
Is
with
this
the
the
gun.
one featured in the video as our intro?
Yes.
Ah, there you go. Okay.
There
I,
you
have
go.
a, I, have a, I own a piece of Joburg history.
Clown.
And at long last, I think that's the end of new shit.
Yeah, there's no more new shit. No one else has anything new that they want to talk about now.
All right,
We've all
Paul.
had our chance.
Paul.
No one else.
Or you may
Cheers,
speak.
guys. Have a good. Oh, wait, Paul.
What you get,
Cool.
buddy?
So after the podcast last Sunday, I went and did some grocery shopping, and I was so
Gross.
happy to find this in the
that's
grocery in the toy aisle. It's a Hammond Collection Jurassic Park T-Rex, and I love it so much. It is an amazing toy. It's wow. I don't want to do anything to this other than playing with it. I keep taking it off the shelf. I keep messing with it. It's great. It's got a little eye. It just looks so good. It's just great. The only thing I haven't done is thrown it in the bath yet, because I want to loosen up those little forearms. The joints are a bit tight, and I'm a bit scared of messing with them. But he's amazing. Or should I say she's amazing, because it's Rexy. Then something else that kind of happened during the week.
Sexy
Let's see if I
Rexy.
got the right picture here. You guys know that I have this She-Ra.
Yeah.
And I see the
You're
one picture I
stunning.
wanted.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, but this is what she looks like out of the packet. So give me a second. As soon as I can... I hate it when like StreamYard does this. So we're just going to enjoy looking at her there. Because I want to have a before and after, but now I'm having an after than a before.
Oh, it's okay. But at this
This is what she... Ugh. Look at that, guys. That's how she came out of the box.
Oh, did you fix? Okay,
I
so
fixed her. Yeah.
she's got overspray. Like they painted her teeth, but unfortunately the white paint has also bled onto her lip.
She looks so terrible. Like she looks like a... So I just fixed her lips. So I gave her
Wow,
a bit of
stunning,
a...
dude. And the lighting is much
Thank
better
you.
in the second picture as well.
Oh yeah, no, that definitely
Did you
helps.
fix
yeah.
her eyes too? Was there some
I didn't
overspray
touch
or-
the eyes. There is overspray on the eyes, but I can live with it for now, I think. I'm trying... If I put the figure under like a lens like this, then I see the issues. If I hold it in my hand, it's not so much of an issue. And then, yes, this is the Masterverse She-Ra. And, which I got a while ago. And then something funny happened to me yesterday. So I was at the Nexus, doing a build meet for the Gundam guys, for the Gunpla SA guys. And I went out, it was raining. And I went out to go and have a cigarette. And lightning struck this palm tree about 4 meters away
Ooh.
from me.
Wow,
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
that's
like, I was like
So you-
right there. I felt
You
that whole
quit
blast.
smoking right on the spot, right?
No, I was just, wow. I was just like, it was just crazy.
What are the chances? I mean, wow.
Yeah. So that was a thing. And then I don't want to show you more of this because there's actually quite a lot of like debris from this tree burning now. But yeah, that was kind of a thing. So having a smoke, and then Thor just decides, hello. So anyway, cool.
That's insane.
So, yeah, that's my
Real.
new stuff. I survived a thunderstrike. Well, not really survived a lightning strike. I was just very close to one. And I got a cool T-Rex, so life is good. Yeah.
Win-win.
It's a good week.
Win-win. Winner. Cool, guys.
Win chicken dinner.
So, Mark, next in the pipeline, we've got a hardcover book of several hundred pages.
I think so.
Are we making dates with Ron for the further adventures of this incredible Cobra schism? Is the word I think you used? These
Well,
two
we haven't
warring
set a
factions.
date yet, but it will definitely come. I mean, yeah, we're
Outstanding.
enjoying ourselves so much. So yeah.
If you haven't seen the video, scroll on down, check it out. We got
At some point,
yeah.
we have an
We
idea
completely
of we
spoiled
get
it for
together,
you.
and then it just starts evolving.
I'm so glad that you guys found, that you have so much fun doing this, and that we all get to share in it as well. I think it's fantastic.
Rob's eyeballing his mauler. Incidentally, the mauler is also like the scoop is the one from our intro video for the podcast, but this is the mauler
This
that
is the actual mauler from
This
the
is
that
the one
you're
after.
going to see in the outro just now.
Yep. Like I say,
Wow.
when shooting on
Wow.
your own, jockeying the
I
remote
might
control.
just get Steven to sign this, and then I'll sell it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful piece of
Joburg
toy.
history.
I think Mauler
Mauler
Jonet is
such
various
cool.
signatures on the inside.
Swear words.
No, just like dates. I mean, he's extremely conscientious about his repairs and things. Like he's got the date and like what he did to the battery box and the engine.
Well, it
Very
makes it
meticulous.
easier to remember, I guess.
Mm. The guy has a lot of maulers.
They don't call him Mauler
It's
Joe
called
for nothing.
Mauler Joe for nothing.
Exactly. In unison. Thanks as always to the patrons. Some of them are in the chats currently. Thank you, fellas. And some of them are in
the
attendance.
show
Yeah, in
itself.
the show.
I give
Actually.
you guys a little bit of money.
Mark and Ron, thank you, gents, for helping us month to month. And yeah, I mean, Patreon is one way to do it. We've also got a YouTube membership, and occasionally a few videos get chucked through there.
It helps keeps the lights on when, well, actually it doesn't, but
Definitely
It
helps
helps
us
keep
ship
us warm
stuff.
at night.
Yes,
So-
indeed.
Yeah.
And with that, I think we're going to tie this up with a nice little bow. I'm going to hang out with my buddy, play with that mauler perhaps. Or it's getting late. What am I talking about?
you're so tired. You have a child now.
I'll take him home. He's going to take me home. Tuck him
He's
into
also
bed.
got the book.
Oh, yes.
And
Yeah.
read the book.
Oh, do you want to hold on to Mark's box?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Brilliant.
For the next week, I'm going to read these books.
And give Mark some honest feedback.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
Good, good.
Whoa,
You-
whoa.
Future
Joe.
feature.
Something to do
forthcoming.
during load shedding. Thank you.
I did put Scoop in there especially for you, Rob. So
Okay, yeah.
That's love.
Okay, can we
That's
end now
love.
so I can read them? please?
Bart wants to see a Mauler versus Swampfire battle.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, could happen. I mean, Bart actually was the guy who suggested we do a three-way battle between the Fang, the GI Joe Locust, and the Cobra or the Dreadnok Swampfire. I'm the schmo who had the short straw, and I had to like defend the Swampfire in that battle. I think I came stony last in the votes.
But I
But-
mean, seeing it in real life now, it obviously wins.
It's nice to back the underdog, man. It's
But these cool, like,
It's a
pontoons
fun
and-
toy. Definitely.
It is a
I
fun
enjoy
toy.
mine. So
agreed. And once again, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Ron, for joining us tonight for your incredible work. If you haven't seen it by now, as Rob says, it's completely spoiled for you, but the visuals are worth it alone. So even if you were to watch it with the sound off, yeah, it's cool Playmotion. A very fresh take. Great to see Cobra front and center without any of those meddlesome Joes.
did somebody say Snake Mountain? Sign me up.
Oh, and with
That's
that,
terrible.
we are out. Yo, Joe, everybody.
Joe.
Bug, 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 bug.